Hello, Internet. By now, many of you have seen the Peepo animation. I have to confess, it broke my heart, and I wanted to understand why. So, this video is going to be a psychoanalysis, a self reflection, an introspection to understand why I had that reaction. So, unfortunately, we're going to rewatch this. Why do I do this to myself?
Is this live? Okay. Okay, chat, let's go over this.
Okay, so the first thing this makes me feel is you see him light up when his favorite streamer logs in. Like, this is all there. The fact that either he fell asleep when the stream was on, or he always has it up and just waits for it to be on. You know, like he's at the desk, he's at the ready. He loves this guy, and right away. Now I'm already kind of feeling the sad because I know where this is going, but when I first watched it, it was still this heartwarming moment just to see him light up, you know? Anyway, moving on.
Is there good stuff on it? Okay. Okay, let's go with this. See action. I made this demo.
Getting ahead of myself. So, interestingly enough, I'm not feeling quite as sad as I did the first time because I actually, after this, I had to know the truth of the story, and it turned, the real story is not quite so dramatic. But I think you see how much the character loves his idol, and how excited it was how exciting it was for him to be recognized, first of all, to be noticed by the person that he had so much invested in emotionally, and then to watch the person who he has so much adoration for, so much respect for, to not just dismiss him, but to quite literally tear him down. And again, I know that XQC is not out. This is not an XQC flame. This really is just about the story. I understand the reality is kind of different, so don't go, that's not what really happened. I got it. I got the truth. I know. It's just about the character. It's about the story. And you see this poor bastard, like, all he wanted to do was make the person that he loves laugh. And he just gets shut down. And there's also, like, more that you can kind of read into it. You can tell that this really is, that his world kind of revolves around this. Now, whether or not you think that's pathetic or admirable or whatever, that's besides the point. Whether or not this character could do something better, you still can feel pity for his predicament or her predicament. People's are what, they're gender neutral? I don't fucking know. And this is the part that tears me. I have been in fuck fucking emotions, fucking feelings. I can't even get through these words with fighting back the tears. Man card, man card. I know that's being fucking toxic. Anyway, I've been in this exact scenario without the light, but with storming outside, the window in the same spot in relation to my bed. My heartbreak at the time was because my first love. It's so funny to talk about these things in retrospect. It was such a silly issue to have, but my first love fucking broke my heart, and I remember sleepless nights in this position, just fucked up beyond my, just fucked up, just could not sleep, would cry so fucking hard that I had no tears left, and still my body was trying to squeeze that shit out. And you see that he just broke, and you see him in this position. For me personally, oh, son of a bitch. Anyway, so I think, okay, to be a little bit more analytical and not just to relate based on personal experience, but I also begin imagining, what is this character feeling right now? I mean, immediately interpreting that this character must be feeling, you know, when you feel true sadness, at least for me, I feel this, it's like a vibrating, sinking weight, and it goes just below the sternum. And I feel like this character must be having that right then, must be shedding more tears, and must feel, I can't even get through the fucking sentences. I feel like such a bitch right now. See? See? This is such... Ah, fuck, why am I like this? But I imagine that this character, with that physical agony, with that solemn loneliness, spends the rest of their night like this. And I imagine it's not the first time either. I immediately, in my sympathy for the character, I imagine that this poor character doesn't have much else going. You know, that you can tell how much such a it seems like a small thing. It's like, so the streamer didn't like your fucking video, but you can tell how much it affects him, and it just fucks me up. Fucks me up. The first time I watched that and I was all fucked up. I literally, for the next 24 hours, like I went to bed thinking about this video. I woke up the next day thinking about this video. I went to work all day and it kept coming in and out of my mind. And when I came home, I had to figure out some way to deal with it. So that's kind of the purpose of this video, is to figure out, why did a fucking cartoon animation drive me so silly upset? It was really strange. Literally, the other day, I watched this nature video where a bunch of crocodiles had caught a baby zebra, and one of them grabbed it by the nose, death rolled, and ripped its fucking face off. Yeah, I know, fucking brutal. And I mean, I felt terrible. I felt really bad for the fucking zebra. I could only imagine the pain, but it didn't quite move me to tears. Well, it didn't. I mean, it fucked up my mood. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but it didn't bring me to tears. This, I mean, shit, just in this video, I knew what was coming. And you saw, I had to fight it. I had to fight it. I had to be a little, whatever, you saw it. So yeah, the first time I watched that, and that fucked up my whole day. I didn't watch this until either later that night or the following day. We're gonna watch it back to back. From a technical perspective, the animator is an absolute master of his craft. So I couldn't quite tell what he was feeling right there. The facial expression, I remember feeling a certain amount of confusion, and to this moment I still feel it. I couldn't tell if it was just a pensive gaze, or if he was reliving a certain level of sadness there. I'm not sure. Hypothetically, I could see myself, if I were really committed to a streamer and I were gonna cancel a subscription, I could see myself going about it two ways. One being like, fuck this guy. And then the other, which the music and the previous story, you know, the persona that this Peepo has kind of built up, I just realized that I'm a grown man psychoanalyzing a fucking Peepo. What am I doing with my life? Anyway, with the entire scene built up, you don't see this character being so aggro right away. You assume that he's still feeling regret and sadness and just an all-around depressive mood. Fuck, listen to the music. Like, ah! So you imagine that this is the last thing he wants to do. So even just the going to the canceling of the subscription, you're just like, you... Fuck. Looks so bummed out, so dejected. Again, I'm trying to remember how I felt when I first saw this and not feel what I feel based on what I know is coming. But if I remember correctly, my first thought was, get it, kid! Go on, I'm assuming kid. I mean, the dude's shorter than a fucking fence. Although it could be a fucking 6-foot fence. I don't know. The point is that you're like, that a boy? I'm like, boy, girl, whatever. Fuck. Boy. I'm gonna say boy. Fuck you. Well, that's right, boy. Go on. Get that scooter. Get out there. That's right. Go live your life. Fuck that fucking guy. I just realized he doesn't have toes. Okay, I can 50,000 bazillion% relate to the social awkwardness. In fact, he has more social confidence than I had when I was younger. He just goes up to dudes and he's like, hi, how's it going? Oh god, never in a million years would I have done that. At least, not so smoothly. Speaking just for myself, but I can't help but feel so much, what's the word? I don't want to say it's like proud, but not proud like you achieve something, but I love that the character is trying. I'm like, yes, go out there, live life, make new friends. This is the big thing. I thought about this before, and I can't believe it took me this long, 3/4 of the way through both videos, to remind myself. But I think that's the big thing. The big thing is to see the innocence destroyed time and time again. In the first video, you see the innocent adoration for somebody that this character looks up to, and you see him get destroyed by the very person he looked up to, and you see that it just devastates him. And in this one, you see, even as he's being, rudely ignored or analyzed by this character, says the guy who's analyzing. To be fair, I'm analyzing myself. I digress. And even as this dude's like looking over the phone, he's still just innocently waiting, just like patiently, like, what's gonna happen next? Oh, I'm gonna make a friend. God damn, Hey W, you are an amazing animator and you are an amazing storyteller, but fuck, dude. I heard one streamer say that this was emotional terrorism. Again, you see the shame, you see the embarrassment, and we've all been embarrassed. Well, maybe not all, but most of us, many of us at the very least, have felt that embarrassment, that heat flushing in your cheeks. You felt the need to get away from the situation, to feel lesser than. You get sweaty. You can feel the blood pumping in the back of your fucking skull. The dragging of the gear. I mean, we've all been there. And he just goes right back to his previous poison. Now, my poison was never streamers. Mine was substance. It was marijuana. I used to smoke way too much for my own good. And if I had a really bad fucking day or a bad anything, I would go back to the smoke. Now, thankfully, I don't anymore, but at the time, I would abuse the shit out of it. I know what it feels like to have something that you had recently, just previously, concluded was no bueno, no good. But because something worse happened or something else bad happened, you go back to the previous poison and you're like, fuck it. And that... feelings! Fuck feelings. Look at that. He's looking at the place he used to call home. He's looking at the person he used to love so much. And he's still fucking exiled. As he's just been rejected by two fucking randos in the street. Like, it just... And you put the videos together and it just keeps stacking up and stacking up. It's like this fucking character can catch a break.
You can have like...
I know there are going to be two people, there are two personalities that react to this. There are going to be people who are like, dude, get over it, it's a fucking cartoon, and there are going to be people who can totally relate. But, to get back to analyzing why I felt like shit watching that. Again, the music doesn't help. It's like this submissive attempt to reason with the person, you know? It's almost like an apology, even though the character didn't do anything wrong. That's the other part, that not only is it on the top level, it's watching this innocence be constantly just beat down, but it's to see how guilty this character feels when the character is not guilty of having done anything wrong, you know? To be made not only to feel inadequate, rejected, disliked, alone, but on top of everything else, he's made to feel like he did something wrong when all he tried to do was reach out and send good vibes to somebody that sent him good vibes back. Or he wanted to send good vibes back to somebody that made him feel good vibes in the first place. Well, I think I've said it all. In summation, I think the reason why this affected me so much was to watch an innocent character. And innocent not just in the sense that the character didn't do anything wrong, but innocent in the sense that the character is clearly still vulnerable. Like, this is why I look at the character and I imagine a little boy. Because you see this vulnerability that it almost comes from lack of experience. It's like life hasn't kicked this kid in the dirt enough for the kid to just be like, to brush it off, you know? I'm sure most of us have had that experience where there was something that nowadays, as we get older, we're just like, I can't believe I got torn up by that. But at the time, it was the end of our fucking lives. It was the end of our world. Like I was talking about earlier, when my first love fucking broke up with me, it fucked me up for 3 years. Now I look back on it, I'm like, I can't believe I wasted so much time on that chick. Like, you know, but it doesn't. But I still sympathize with that character because I remember what it was like before I knew any better. It does kind of have a happy ending, I suppose. But anyway, that was my self-reflection on why it is this video makes me feel these fucking things. God damn. Anyway, cheers, guys. Oh, and for God's sakes, if you relate to this character, if you really can relate to that Peepo character, please don't feel bad. Just because one person that you love and respect and admire rejects you doesn't mean that that's the only person in the world. There are many other people who will appreciate you for what you are, who you are, for what you try to do. Again, this is not a statement on XQC. This is not a statement on the character. I understand the truth behind this whole thing. There's a running joke. Some people took it way too far. I'm saying if in real life, outside of this fucking fiction, if you find yourself in a situation like that character, please do not let yourself feel rejected. Take your efforts somewhere else. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I'm out.